You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey GH fans, I want to talk today about the death of Gregory Chase, which definitely seems to be happening like right now. I shared a leak a while back that said someone would die after the wedding, and I said at the time I thought it was probably going to be Gregory, and now it definitely looks like it's happening. Let's dive into this tragedy, but first please subscribe if you have not. So we know that Gregory Chase was working through his bucket list, things he wanted to accomplish and see and do before he died. And a lot of his bucket list was things he wanted to do while he was still physically able to get out and do them before his ALS symptoms crippled him to where he would be stuck in a wheelchair or bedridden and just waiting to die. Remember, he went skydiving with Alexis Davis and even got a kiss out of it. And then he said his biggest goal was to see his youngest son, Detective Harrison Chase, married to BLQ. Of course, he was worried about being healthy enough to officiate, but he made it through. He had that one hiccup where he kind of locked up and couldn't speak, but then Tracy Quartermaine hopped up there and calmed him down and it went off. He was able to get through the I do's, and he was so pleased to have been part of Chase's big day. And then a little bit of reception action, and then he needed to go home to get some much needed rest. He was just worn out. And now there are huge red flags that Gregory dies, possibly even this week as we wrap up May Sweeps. I've said it here before, but I will remind you, May Sweeps ends Wednesday, May 22nd, and on Tuesday, May 21st, the same day this video comes out, I record the night before. Official GH spoilers say that Finn has to do something difficult, and then Friday, March 24th, Cody and Stella are there to support Tracy Quartermaine. These are very important spoilers, and they both point to Gregory's death. The first spoiler about Finn doing something difficult sounds like it's about his father. Maybe he finds his dad comatose in his bed, has to decide about, life support, what to do, leave him there, let him die, go to the hospital. And then the Cody, Stella, and Tracy spoiler, makes a lot more sense in the context of after what we saw happen with Gregory on Monday's episode. Because I was wondering when I saw this spoiler, why are Cody and Stella together talking to Tracy? It seems very weird, like Cody and Sasha, sure, but Cody and Stella, and consoling her. Cody, I get, she's been coming to the stables to ride. They've developed a rapport. They talk all the time, but Tracy and Stella, that's an odd combo. Some of their past interactions have been pretty fiery, like when Stella would shoot her out for her privilege for taking healthcare for granted. But then Stella and Tracy shared a cup of tea and sympathy and kind of buried the hatchet. So it makes sense that Stella would be there at the hospital when Gregory is brought in, presumably the morning after the wedding, when Finn discovers something went terribly wrong with his father overnight. That's where I'm seeing this going. So I can also see, Cody running into Tracy or showing up at the hospital for Tracy, and then Stella running into them. And if Gregory is in a coma or is dead by then, Stella offers condolences. And it makes sense Cody would be there for Tracy because, they're friendly. They're more than employer-employee at this point. They have a strange sort of friendship. And there's nothing else I can imagine Cody and Stella would be together and comforting Tracy about. You know what I mean? Right now, Chase and BLQ are enjoying their wedding night. They have plans to leave for Italy to start their honeymoon tomorrow. There's a scene on the promo for the next day, shows them at the airport. Looks like they're having a problem finding something and they're worried they won't get on the plane. So I just wonder if they're going to get the chance to go, or if Finn is going to call them right as they're getting on the plane, after he wakes up to a disaster with his dad, then they might not leave town. I mean, if Gregory's on his deathbed or has just died, I can't imagine they'd go on their honeymoon. So after a very memorable and sweet wedding, and a very nice reception, Gregory had this really, really nice little goodnight scene with his granddaughter Violet, who said she was big enough to put herself to bed. And then Gregory and Finn had some really special father-son bonding moments. Gregory apologized to Finn for the snark about that that decades-old hurt of Finn banging Gregory's fiance on his wedding day. And once they buried the hatchet, the two men swapped very kind words about what a good dad each of them was, what a good son Finn was, what a good grandfather that Gregory's had. And then Gregory even gave Finn a goodnight kiss on his forehead. And it seemed to me like maybe that was a last kiss. And they joked about Finn tucking Gregory into bed when he was helping him get his clothes off because he was struggling. And, he took his dad in his bedroom and got him in, but Gregory says, you don't need to tuck me in. So it was kind of cute. And then once Gregory was in his bed, all comfy, there was these flashback scenes with this sad song. It was all so ominous. It just screamed, he's about to die. And, he laid there trying to sleep, and then flashbacks of his past and present, him with Chase, Finn, and Violet, his childhood. It was very cute. They'd obviously used real life older photos of Michael Easton, who plays Finn, and Josh Swickard, who plays Chase, and of Gregory Harrison, who plays Gregory Chase. So they pulled in real life photos to make this really incredible photo montage and, little scenes and everything. And, back at Christmas a few months ago, Gregory told Brook Lynn that the last thing on his bucket list was to see her and Chase get married. And he did that. So he's done everything. He's checked everything off his list that he can do, that he really wants to do, that's really important. So Gregory, he kind of twitched, his hand twitched, and then he was just laying there totally still. Maybe he's slipping into a coma, or maybe he just passed away peacefully in his sleep, because given the montage and everything they did, and given how awful that late stage ALS is, it would be a blessing for the family for him to pass away like this in his sleep peacefully before he got completely immobile and all that. And again, ALS is generally a very long running thing where people have this decline. And I knew that GH wasn't going to invest all that time in it. I think they've invested as much time as they were going to. So we'll see. I wonder, given the other spoilers, if he's still clinging to life when Finn finds him in the morning. If I recall correctly, Gregory already has a DNR and that standing order not to take any life-saving measures. And the fact that the last words we heard as he was trying to go to sleep was Violet saying, "Good night, Grandpa." And it was like a replay of what she said before. It seems like it definitely might be good night and farewell. I feel pretty confident saying Gregory Chase passes away this week. Based on this spoilers, maybe into next week. We'll see. And again, we had a leak from a credible source saying that someone died a few episodes after the wedding. I predicted at the time it'd be Gregory, and now it looks like that's exactly where it's going. With Finn accidentally falling off the wagon at the wedding, I'm a little worried that his dad's death may cause a spiral, because there was this scene from this week's promo where Finn was pouring a tumbler of whiskey. It was a bottle that Gloria and Carmine Sorella gifted them. He pours it and then he stares at it like he's fighting the urge, and he's in a different outfit. It's not the one he wore on the wedding day, so it's not him that night, like after he puts Gregory to bed. It's not him drinking that night. And I feel like, maybe it's a different day, maybe after he comes back from the hospital, after he's lost his dad, or after his dad is in a coma that they know he won't come out of, something like that. I suspect Gregory's death or imminent death is what drives Finn back to the bottle, but I really hope he fights it and doesn't take another drink, because his dad would hate that for him. Wait to see, but have your tissues ready, because Gregory Chase is likely dead this week. And if he dies on the Tuesday episode, please realize this video and podcast that you're listening to recorded Monday night before the episode aired. So this is a conversation about what I think is going to happen. We didn't have confirmation at the point that this video is made, but it definitely looks like it. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't, and come back soon. We are here talking General Hospital 7 days a week. And as always, I'm your host, Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.